What's up? What's up? No, what's up with you? What's up with you? Okay, we're live. What's up, everybody? It is Mars Sports. It's but Marshall. Yesterday was a great day. Yesterday, you know why? Because LSU won finally. We're bowl eligible, so take what you can get at this point. Although we didn't beat Arkansas beat themselves like they always do. But LSU wins and Alabama loses because Oklahoma is their daddy, bro. So it's a great day yesterday, even though LSU is not even going to make the playoffs at this rate, obviously. 4 losses won't do it, that's for sure. We're probably going to get 5 losses once we lose to Oklahoma, probably. They're probably going to beat Western Kentucky. Might look sloppy, but we'll beat Western Kentucky. And then we'll lose to Oklahoma, probably a defensive slugfest. But yeah, there's that. If we beat Oklahoma, that'd be crazy, though. Could you imagine? Yeah. But anyways, look, today, what's up, everybody? Today, we're going to be talking about NFL, I guess, and college football. For the no coaches have been fired in the last 2 weeks, by the way. Read my community post if you want to hear about that. I'll try to do one this week because my schedule is way more freed up because Marching Man's over. So I actually have time to do things now. Yeah. But 8 people came out. We'll talk about like teams that are like locked into the playoffs. Yeah. Let's go over the AP poll real quick. You know what? First, I got to pour myself a snack. Also, guys, I have an exciting announcement. I am turning 18 tomorrow. So I don't have to lie about my age and everything. No. I'm gonna say I'm 18. Can't do anything about it, man. I'm 18, boy. Well, tomorrow I am. Yeah. Tomorrow's the 18th birthday, so gotta hide this. You trying to eat in here? So hold off on the snacking for a bit. Yeah, my dog just came in. He wants to eat. He wants to eat his food in here. So yeah. I know I can't see him, but he's down here. You can't see him. So I was like, "Where's my food at? Where's my food?" Move this. Where are you? Where are you gonna eat your food at, boy? But I said hide this because he's gonna stalk me for the Cheez-Its, bro. Hold on. No, not for you, boy. Not for you. You can't have the napkin. Here, eat your food, boy. You want to eat some food? You want to eat some food? You want to eat some food? You do? You want some? Here. I got you food, bro. Especially made by your mother. You love rubbing yourself, bro. That's your shit. I get this letter bar trash out the way. Because, don't want him to eat the poison of it. Give me the chocolate. Chocolate. Leonard, you guess what? You can't have chocolate. It'll kill you. What you looking for, boy? Hey, stop flashing the camera, bro. Let's put your tail down. It's okay. I forgive you. Now, you don't want those die-casts, bro. It's not food. It's not as appetizing as you think it is because it's not actually food. Let me just share this page real quick. Let's show the AP poll. We'll go over like playoff locks and all that. Okay, I guess she'll just like, okay. Let's see this. He never does that. You can have this if you want. Okay. Oh, dude. Come on, you got it. Do that. Good boy. All right, so. So let's go with the AP poll, shall we? You look very unsure what you want to do, Leonard. Food? Okay, sorry. All right, so let's look at AP poll. At number one, like it's been since week 2 of the season, it is none other than the Ohio State University Nutsackers. Don't chew that charger, bro. Is that Dad? Sorry. My ADD's kicking my nuts, bro. I'll make my own AP poll if y'all want. The MS poll, the Mars Sports poll. Okay, I guess he wants to leave now. I'm taking your food with you. Because I know you're going to be wanting it. What? Right, North Texas number 1. Don't be scared. I'll make my. By the way, we'll talk about that in a bit. Let's freaking do this, shall we? Ohio State at number 1, which I think it's valid. I mean, I don't see why they shouldn't be number 1. Although I do think Indiana at number 2. I haven't seen this all season. I think they're better team than Ohio State at this point. Like, Indiana has 2 marquee wins apart, I'd say, this year. They have that win against here's what their best wins are against. Obviously, Oregon was a really good one on the road too. Illinois, when they absolutely beat the living daylight out of them. Excuse me. Iowa, who ended up being a top 25 opponent at one point. Although they're out of the poll now. They've been really good this year. Indiana, bro. I think they're my number 1 in my opinion. So yeah, there's that. A&M comes at number 3 with their crazy comeback. That's hasn't been done like 286 other times, something like that. Yeah, but Texas A&M, man, that pretty much seals them in the playoffs. So why would they leave a 10-win SEC team out the playoffs? All right, let's see. Number 4 is Georgia. They move up a rank after they beat Texas. They beat them up too. I mean, Texas, like I've been saying, I've probably said this. They're a very fluky team. I'm not shocked they got crushed by Georgia. It's just like they should have lost to Kentucky if it weren't for Kentucky's offense being so bad, and they should have lost to Mississippi State if Mississippi State weren't choke artists. So, yeah. But yeah, Georgia at number 4. I'm not saying Texas is out of it completely, but it's very hard to make it. You have to win out, have a few teams lose, and also beat Texas A&M. Oh, we're fun to beat A&M. I don't know. Watch this be like when Ohio State loses to Michigan. It's a one loss of the year, except it's A&M's one losses to Texas. Yeah. Then Georgia number 4. Yeah, there's that. Number 5 is Ole Miss. Number 6 is Texas Tech. And actually, they're both Texas Tech and Oregon are tied. What's the amount of votes? There's that. Oklahoma comes at number 8 after another win against Alabama. Congrats, Oklahoma, man. That's amazing, honestly. Like, I'm an LSU fan. I hate Alabama, so good job, Oklahoma. You did us all a favor. Notre Dame at number 9 after they beat up Pitt. I mean, why are we even shocked for this tie again? Alabama is number 10. After we lost to Oklahoma, that Auburn game is going to be huge for them. It's at Jordan Hare, so who knows what can happen. BYU is at number 11 after they beat the snot out of TCU. So definitely recovery after last week. And they got beat up by Texas Tech. Vanderbilt moves up to number 12 after they had a bye week. Utah comes up to 13. It's completely actually Baylor's for 28, but Baylor's defense is so bad. That's why they've been losing so many games this year. So I literally can't focus with all this noise in the background. I'm sorry. Number 14 is Miami. They beat up NC State. NC State's a very weird team, though, honestly. And number 15 is Georgia Tech. They barely beat Boston College of all teams, so not great there. Not a great look for them there. USC number 16, they beat Iowa yesterday. And Texas moved down to number 17 after a loss to Georgia. So, I mean, just be lucky you're not 5-5. Michigan number 18, they're still hanging on, man. If they beat Ohio State, they're making the playoffs. I don't care what anyone says, as long as they win out. Yeah. Virginia number, even if they have 9 wins, actually, if they have to win out, probably, but they beat Ohio State, they're making the playoffs. I don't care what anyone says. Virginia number 19. I mean, they finally got like a lopsided-ish win against Duke. So I guess that takes all the narratives out that Duke could make the ACC championship. I mean, if you lose to UConn and it's not basketball, then yeah, that's although UConn has it better in football lately. Number 20 is Tennessee. I mean, they beat their cupcake like they should. 21 is James Madison. They beat up Appalachian State. They're probably the leading contender at this point for the playoffs, or one of them, because the AACs is beating up on each other at this point. But there's one team that only has one loss in the AAC. Shout out. I live like 10 minutes away from this university. Shout out to North Texas, bro. 22, first time ranked in a long time. Right? Maybe even the first time. They've been ranked at some point, but North Texas at number 22 with a 9-1 record, man. Good for them, bro. I went to their game against USF, and they actually looked great in the first half. Second half, they kind of choked away. Ever since then, they beat Navy. They've been beating up their opponents like crazy. So good for North Texas, man. That's amazing. I mean, that team's been really, really good this year. I mean, they're basically carrying the torch of the American at this point. So, I mean, congratulations to North Texas, bro. That's amazing. There, I know a lot of people. I know people that go there, and just awesome to see them do really good football too. They have great music school, and now their football team's like up to par. Well, in ways, yeah. But North Texas, man, that's amazing. Good for them, bro. That's amazing. Missouri number 23. Because they jump back into the rankings of the being at Mississippi State. It's Mississippi State. I mean, they're a weird team. Mississippi State doesn't have a defense. That's why they lost so many games. Well, they've had decent defensive points, but yeah. But they are choke artists at points against Texas. Yeah. Tulane jumps in the ranking. I believe this is the first time this year they're in the rankings at number 24 as they beat FAU. They have 2 losses, which are to Crush lost Ole Miss. They also lost to UTSA. So, how they UT? Yeah. Yeah, UTSA being up pretty well, we'll say 40-26. So, well, who knows though? Tulane. I mean, I think it's not invalid by any means, but yeah, they had 2 Power 4 wins against Duke and Northwestern, so I'll give them credit for that. And Houston, by default, is shown second in the rankings at number 25. So, yeah, but there you go. But they're 8-2 still, so I'll give them credit for that. Yeah. There's that. Other receiving votes are Navy, Illinois, SMU, Arizona State, Louisville, Iowa, Pittsburgh, San Diego State, Arizona, UNLV, Washington, who just lost to Wisconsin, South Florida, East Carolina, who could be a dark horse in that conference, and UConn. Shout out to UConn, bro. Getting the vote. They've been a weird team, UConn, but yeah. They'll lose they'll lose to opponents they should beat, but they'll also beat opponents they should lose to. So, yeah. Man, let's just go over the poll. We think still in the playoffs and who's out and who's locked in. Yeah. Ohio State, I'd say at this point is locked in. I mean, what's their remaining schedule? I mean, they got Rutgers and Michigan, so they're going to beat Rutgers, and Michigan's Michigan. Who knows what's going to happen? Indiana's is a lock. They can lose their last 2 games, still make the playoffs. It's Purdue, though, and they're probably going to make the Big Ten championship at this point. It's probably them and Ohio State. And if Michigan wins if they win out, if Michigan beats Ohio State, they'll make the Big Ten championship. Sorry, if I said Big 12, I meant Big Ten. Because they'll have that tiebreaker over Ohio State because their other losses, because they have 2 losses, but one of them's to Oklahoma. So, yeah. And Oklahoma's obviously not counting towards their conference schedule. But yeah. I almost forgot that game happened. There's that. A&M is, I'd say, a lock. They're not going to deny a 10-win SEC team at this point. Why would they? Georgia, they still have to win out, but, I mean, their biggest game left, I think, is Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech, I mean, yeah, they've been a fluky team, but they've been really good this year. They have Charlotte. They're gonna beat the brakes off Charlotte because Charlotte's one of the worst teams in the FBS this year. And then Georgia Tech. Oh, Ole Miss is a lock. I don't see why they wouldn't put them in there. And they got Mississippi State will. I know I say this a lot. Mississippi State's a trap game. Not for anyone, honestly, because who knows how they could do. But they'll beat Mississippi State by a decent amount. It is the Egg Bowl, though. Who knows what can happen? Texas Tech. I mean, anything can happen in the Big 12. They got 1 game left, so soon they have a bye week this week. What a weird time to have a bye week, though. I'm not gonna lie. They have West Virginia. That's their last game. West Virginia is not a good team. I mean, they've been getting better, but they're still not a good team. Oregon's gonna have to win out. I mean, if they lose their last 2, they'll probably miss it, but they'll have an outside shot at that point. But who's their main schedule? USC and Washington. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really call those like guaranteed wins. If they beat USC, they're making the playoffs. Yeah. We might have like a big time Big Ten. Oklahoma, they still have 2 games left, but they're against one's Missouri. Missouri could be a trap game for them. It's a rivalry game. Anything could happen. And then their last game's at LSU. Or not at LSU. They're hosting LSU. Yeah, but good news for them. They're both at home. So yeah, I think the one time they've lost at home this year was to Ole Miss. And their other loss was the Red River rivalry against Texas. Yeah. Ironically, though, Texas has not been as good of a team as Oklahoma's been this year. Yeah, Oklahoma finally making waves in the SEC in their 3rd year in it? No, 2nd year, sorry. I feel like they've been there longer than I thought. I think than they've actually been. Michael Oxley's going to return. I mean, he's getting more money to spend on talent, but don't know about that move, man. That seems kind of sketchy, I will admit. Yeah. Notre Dame. Notre Dame. I can't focus. I need to go in here. So I just can't focus with all these doors opening because, my ADD is extra bad today. I think I'm just really tired. Okay, let's see. They have two S teams to play, not S2 teams, but S. Notre Dame has Syracuse and Stanford, and they don't have a conference championship, obviously. So Notre Dame is going to make the playoffs again. At least they didn't lose to Northern Illinois this year. So, yeah, they're going to win those last two games, though. I mean, who knows? Syracuse could be a trap game, and even Stanford, honestly. Maybe they'll play their best game this season all of a sudden. Let's see. Bama. That Auburn game was really good matter for them. I mean, East Illinois, they're going to beat the brakes off of, so, yeah. But Auburn, who knows, man? Auburn's so close to so many wins this year, dude. They are going to give it their all against Alabama, that's for sure. BYU, I mean, who else do they have left? Cincinnati and UCF. Cincinnati's not. Cincinnati could be one that they lose. But they'll beat UCF. UCF sucks, bro. Yeah. But I think right now it's going to be BYU and Texas Tech in the championship for the Big 12. For Vanderbilt's 8-2, man. I'll tell you what. Wow. They got Kentucky and Tennessee. They'll beat Kentucky probably, but Kentucky's been better lately. But see if they've been bad opponents. But same with them. They also have Tennessee on the road. So, and to be fair, Tennessee's not as good this year. They're not bad. They're pretty good, but they're not as good as they were last year. Because Bandits had to have Alabama lose a game, or Oklahoma, and or they have to have someone up here lose. Because Alabama, though, right now Alabama's a head-to-head over them. So Alabama, if they win out, and they have one conference loss because Alabama's other loss was to Florida State of all teams. But yeah. But I feel like the scenery. So Vanderbilt, don't they have a few teams go their way? They have to win out, and then they have Alabama lose. Or Oklahoma. And they probably get the tiebreaker over Notre Dame at this point. Well, no. They might look at banning Notre Dame. We'll have to see what the playoff rankings are for you. But that could be what it comes down to. Utah. What do we have left? Kansas and Kansas State. Kansas on there, so you never know. Same with Kansas State. So they only have Kansas teams to play. The whole state of Kansas to play. For them, they're not in great shape right now. They want to make the conference championship. For them, they're going to have I literally can't focus, bro. Everyone keeps moving rooms. Sorry, I just have my ADD's really bad today. But yeah, Utah's gonna have to have BYU and Texas Tech. At least one of them lose their last two games. Yeah, that's gonna be what it's gonna take. Because BYU and Texas Tech both beat Utah, so I mean the other option at large, if Vanderbilt and Notre Dame lose, or anyone not in their conference loses, they could get at large, I will admit. Yeah. Or even, yeah. There's that. Yeah. Miami at this point, they're gonna make the ACC championship because the ACC sucks this year. Miami. Not the Dolphins. Virginia Tech and Pitt. I mean, Virginia Tech they're going to beat, but Pitt, they're probably going to beat too. Well, Pitt's a decent. Look, sure. Pitt's a decent team though. I mean, they might get at large because SMU, Pitt, Virginia, and Georgia Tech all have one conference loss. So half those teams have lost to Wake Forest. Pitt's one conference loss. Who was it against? Who was their conference loss against? Oh, it was Louisville. Okay, that makes sense. And Georgia Tech's one conference loss is NC State, so yeah. Well, really, Virginia has 2 conference losses, but the NC State that game doesn't count. Because it's out of conference for some reason. But yeah. At this point, it's going to be Miami's going to have to hope Georgia Tech loses. And Georgia Tech has Pitt and Georgia. Well, they're going to be – well, Pitt's the one that matters the most because Georgia's out of conference, of course. Of course, actually, no, it doesn't matter because Georgia Tech got the tiebreaker over Miami because Miami actually, yeah. Yeah, Miami lost to Georgia Tech, so yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, wait. So I'm thinking of last year. Sorry. Okay, wouldn't matter anyway. So that could be a scenario. This Miami and Georgia Tech should play each other every year. I don't know. Virginia has yeah. They have Virginia Tech remaining. That's the only one left. Because they're off next week. So they, as long as they beat Virginia Tech, they're practically a lock at this point. Pitt, they might be a 3-loss team, but they only have 1 conference loss. It's like Clemson last year. The 2 losses are the one against Louisville. They also lost to Notre Dame. At the mall spot. They also lost to West Virginia. So yeah, they have Georgia Tech and Miami, so they got a tough road ahead of them. So yeah, Miami wins that, they'll win the tiebreaker. Scenario for Miami, if Georgia beats Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech beats Pittsburgh, and Miami beats them. Wait, no. If Pitt beats Georgia Tech, and Miami beats Pitt, Miami's going to get an AC championship. So, SMU, they're very similar too. They have 3 losses, but 2 of them out of conference. Their 1 conference loss is to Wake Forest, and they're all 2 losses. The other 2 losses to Baylor and TCU. So, yeah, that doesn't count towards their conference record too. They got Louisville with that'll determine whether they make it or not. And they got Cal. Cal's a weird team though. Yeah. Those won half their games, yet they're tied for the second best record, conference record in the well, technically the third best record in the ACC. They've lost so many out of conference games for Duke. Yeah. They lost to, of course, they had 2 losses against Virginia and who's that other team they lost to? Georgia Tech. They think lost their other losses to Illinois, Tulane, and almost like Cal, but that's not time. But they beat Illinois, Tulane, and UConn. So one Power 4, 1 Group of 5, and 1 independent. It's not named Notre Dame, so. Yeah. There's that. Yeah, Georgia Tech are basically the same. Georgia Tech has to win out. Well, at least win their last. At least you have to beat Pitt this weekend. And they'll make it. More likely. USC. This is an interesting one because they haven't really been that relevant a little bit this year. I thought they would be. I just want. Uh, but they have a tougher. Well, they have Oregon. They won that. They're in good shape. So they got UCLA. They're hosting UCLA. UCLA is not that good of a team, obviously. They have moments, but not the late. Hold up. Let me just. Okay, let's see. USC. They have losses to. Their two losses are to Illinois and I think No, I think they beat Michigan. Yeah, they crushed Michigan. It's like the other way around for some reason. They lost to Notre Dame, so they're in a good spot. But Notre Dame's independent, of course. I mean, if Indiana loses to Purdue, then they'll get the tiebreaker because USC beat Purdue. Now, I don't think Indiana's going to get touched by Purdue, but that's their way to make the conference championship at this point. Ohio State will have to. If Ohio State loses to Michigan, then USC make the conference championship. If they win, this is all if USC wins out. So, yeah, but USC could get out large. It's going to be really hard, though. I forget. We'll see. It's going to get real interesting in playoff selection day. So, yeah. There are a lot of 2-loss teams saying Texas is not making it. I mean, they had to win a lot. Their remaining schedules, Arkansas and Texas A&M, they had to win both those games. They have to have Alabama lose a few games. Yeah, they're not in a good spot for playoff wise. Michigan, they just have to beat Ohio State. They have. I don't know who they're playing next week. Maryland. Maryland sucks. They just have to beat. Assuming they beat Maryland, they just have to beat Ohio State and then make the conference championship at that point because they get the tiebreaker. So definitely possible for Michigan, but that Ohio State game is going to determine their season. Virginia. Just have to beat Virginia Tech. They'll be in the conference championship. Well, they've been a weird team this year, I will admit. Virginia might make the playoffs just because of that alone. Like, one to bet Virginia and Georgia Tech with the conference championship at this point. Yeah. They're past all. Tennessee, not looking good for them. JMU just had to win out and just hope UNT loses a few games. Even then, I think they get the tiebreaker of UNT because UNT got crushed by South Florida. Well, JMU put up a respectable fight against Louisville. So yeah. They have to win the Sun Belt, of course. And North Texas would have to win the American. It would probably, I don't know who they play at this point. Probably Navy? I don't know. Navy's a weird team, bro. Missouri, they're pretty much out of it. Tulane would have to win out, and they just have to hope JMU and North Texas loses, or have to beat North Texas in the championship, and they'd have to hope JMU loses some way, or lose their conference. Well, even if they lose their conference championship, I think JMU will get in still. JMU has one loss. Yeah, and 2 losses for Tulane, 2 losses they weren't even in the game, basically. But the thing with Tulane is they have more Power 4 wins over JMU. They're actually the most Power 4 wins over any group of 5, I think. So, yeah. Houston, they're a weird one. Houston, we might have a problem. Okay. Houston, they're a weird team, bro. Who's around? They have TCU and Baylor, so they stay in state for the rest of the season. So they'll probably beat TCU if I had to guess. Although, is it? Yeah, so Baylor could be one to watch out for. They'll probably win both those games if anything. But yeah, especially the way like TCU looked and Baylor looked. Yeah, they'll probably win those games. Their two losses are to West Virginia and Texas Tech. Yeah, the only way to make it is have to have Utah probably lose. Utah beat West Virginia. Yes, it did. Okay, that would be the tiebreaker at that point. Utah had to lose. BYU would have to lose. Probably. Hold on, who they lose to? Yeah, we'll see that. But let's take a look at these conference standings too. AAC. Let's look at all the teams. So let's go on the conference championship things. So right now, Navy, Tulane, North Texas, and Eastern Carolina actually on a four-way tie. The Eastern Carolina is not one that's not out of it. They have to have a lot of people collapse, but Eastern Carolina, man, they could be a dark horse. I mean, they got beat up by BYU. It's BYU though. They look better than TCU looked against them, I will say. And NC State. NC State beat some good teams this year, but like somehow they're not a good team. I don't know. That's a revenge game, to be fair. They have UTSA and FAU, so they're probably gonna win out. Well, UTSA could be one to watch out for, but yeah. But yeah, North Texas. Who's their main schedule? Rice and Temple. Yeah, they'll probably beat those two. Temple's a trap game, and even Rice, they'll probably win out, if anything. Because South Florida lost, so that frees up space for them, and they're Tulane. I mean, they'd have the tiebreaker over Navy, obviously. Yeah. Tulane Navy playing each other? No, that would be essential if that happened. But yeah, they probably go out better record at that point. Yeah. South Florida is pretty much out of it. I mean, they have to have all these teams lose in front of them. I mean, if Navy lose 2 games, Tulane, Eastern Carolina lose, and then North Texas they get a tiebreaker. They get the tiebreaker over. So yeah, by kicking themselves, knowing that a team they crushed has a better chance of making the playoffs than them. So yeah. Yeah, North Texas has the best record of anyone in this conference. So yeah. Moving on, ACC. Miami Duke are completely out of it, but Duke would have to have all the chaos ensue because there's no way to eliminate any championship with that. Bro. Duke's not even a good team, bro. But they have a better chance of making the championship than Louisville does. Wake Forest, man, has been a weird team this year, but they've actually been decent this year. Yeah. Arizona State is not out of it. I mean, they were unranked at this time last year, and they made the playoffs. So if any team that's going to do that, it's going to be SMU would probably be the one to do that. Or even Arizona State again. Who knows? Or even Arizona. Yeah. Arizona has 3 conference losses, though, so it's not going to pan out well for them. Really shit, but they beat Kansas State as well. But that doesn't count because it's technically not a conference game. Yeah. Cincinnati, I mean, they'd have to have a few teams lose ahead of them, like Utah. And who's their other team they lost to? Where's Bowling Green's logo? Who's the other team lost to? Arizona. Yeah, they've not been great lately. Arizona, yeah, then down here they're pretty much out of it. Unless something happens. It's not like last year; it could be an 8-way tie. Yeah. Indiana and Ohio State's there to make it. If Indiana loses to Purdue, USC's making it. If Ohio State loses to Michigan, then Michigan's making it. Ohio State, Ohio, Oregon's they have to hope Ohio State loses. So yeah, that's gonna be a weird scenario for them. Because they're not gonna because Indiana's not gonna do them any good because Indiana's one game left and if they lost that they get the tiebreaker over Oregon. Yeah. Iowa's pretty much out, and then everyone else is pretty much out of it. Washington would be in if they lose to Wisconsin of all teams. Holy moly! Purdue once again the worst team in the. Oh, sorry. Purdue once again the worst team in the conference. They've been better this year. We'll admit. TSA. Who did Kennesaw lose to? Oh, that's Jacksonville State. Okay, that makes sense. Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State's probably be that. So the Western Kentucky and Kennesaw play each other? No. Western plays LSU, so that's going to be spanking. Jacksonville State plays it. That might actually end up being the same conference championship from last year, ironically. Yeah. Missouri State, I don't think they can even make it, but they have to have a few people. I don't think Missouri State would even technically can win the conference because they're so new to FBS this year. I kind of found that rule kind of stupid. Like I get the last year in the FCS, eligible because like your game powerful, you're starting to get FBS resources at that point, but like they should let them go both at least for the first year. Yeah. FIU and then everyone else down there is pretty much out of it. Yeah. There'll always be no damn UConn. That's pretty much a lock for that. Western Michigan. Wow, the MAC is oh my lord, the MAC is awful this year, bro. It's not the worst, but like the MAC, your leading team has 4 losses, bro. Like what the frick, bro? They can't do crap out of conference, bro. I mean, Western Michigan's had to win out because like they have one. I don't know who their one was to. It was to who they lose to? Miami, Ohio. They also got shut out by Illinois. Got choked the game away against North Texas, and then lost Michigan State of all teams. So yeah, did Central Michigan and Western Michigan play each other? Wait, hold up. They already did. Okay. So Central Michigan had to have them lose the last 2. Is NI East? They're gonna win those games. Let's be real. Ohio. I mean, Ohio's actually been a decent team this year. They beat. I mean, I'll give them credit. They beat West Virginia. They've kind of been in conference at points. Yeah. But they'll be UMass Buffalo is probably like they're gonna be UMass. UMass is complete to do the crap this year. Than whoever the other one. Buffalo. Buffalo's a weird team though. Toledo's not out of it yet. Mainly these teams, Miami, Ohio, Buffalo. Like the MAC's not very good this year. I mean, they've had moments, but like it's just not very good in conference. Kent State's still eligible. What's Kent State's remaining schedule, bro? Okay, that's manageable. They'll probably beat Northern Illinois. They might beat them actually. I don't know. Mountain West. San Diego State's are really good this year. They're going to win the conference. They have though. Didn't they lose to Fresno State? Or am I thinking of a different team? No, they shut out Fresno State. Okay, I said Friendswood State. What am I thinking? Fresno, not Friendswood, not Friendswood High School. If San Diego State lose, they get a tie. They probably get into there. I don't know. At least into contention. Yeah. Mainly San Diego State, whoever the heck couldn't come out of here because Fresno State beat Boise State. Did New Mexico beat Boise State? No, Boise State beat them. Okay. They San Diego State. Did they win that game? That'll probably be the conference championship. Air Force has not been great this year, obviously. UNLV's not completely out of it though. They have powerful win. I'll give them that. They have Hawaii and Nevada. So I mean, Nevada looked really good in their game the other day, which is ironic because they're one of the worst teams out there. Yeah. Hawaii's not out of it either. They've had a few good ones this year. Yeah. Who do they have left? Hawaii. And Hawaii has that win against Stanford. So yeah. Mount West has actually been decent this year. Just Americans been better, ironically. Boise State's been off. Now this kind of fell off a little this year. They've been bad, yeah. This one's it's Pac-12. No one really cares about Pac-12 anymore. Bama, the A&M's leading it. Then Georgia, if they win. So if A&M loses to Texas, I mean, they're probably locked to the championship at this point. I mean, Georgia beat Texas, so they get the tiebreaker over them. Yeah, I mean, Georgia has one conference game left, so I think A&M is pretty much solidified into their spot. Yeah, there's that. How the heck are they still undefeated, though? That's crazy. What the frick? Yeah. Obviously, LSU's way out of it, obviously. Yeah. Sunbelt. JMU's undefeated, and then Southern Miss, and JMU's gonna beat Southern Miss probably. Haven't they played each other this year? But Southern Miss beats them. That's bad news. Yeah, so Jamie beat them up pretty well. No, that was last year. Never mind. Um, back when Southern Miss was complete due to garbage. Yeah. If Jamie's has to win out at this point. I mean, what do they have left on their schedule? Wazoo and Coastal, so they'll probably beat those two pumpkin teams. Two teams, yeah. Wazoo's one that could win. They could win against opponents, but they could also lose. Like they lost to Oregon State. Oh, what the heck? Oregon State at this point is one of the worst power. Is one of the more not just one of the worst quote unquote Power 4 opponents. They're not Power 4. They're one of the worst opponents in college football. One of the worst teams, yeah. Arkansas State, I will say, they made a comeback since that point this year. Yeah, JMU's probably the best team to make the playoffs. Or probably the best spot at this point. But yeah. Let me make my own poll. So, yeah. All right, let's do that. So, let's make my own poll. Oh, well, it's for last week. Never mind. Wait. No. All right, number 1. Indiana. Number 2. And number 3 is Texas A&M. Georgia has the head-to-head, so I'll give them that. Number 5, I'll still miss. Actually, I'd say Oregon. Oklahoma, Alabama, to BYU. I gotta admit, Notre Dame's kind of overrated. They don't put Notre Dame down there. We're expecting head-to-head at this point. Utah number 14. Oh. Georgia Tech. Then USC. I could say Texas. Probably say Virginia. Then Tulane. I honestly say Navy is probably my other team. There you go. It's my top 25 for the week. All right, let's check the NFL scores, shall we? Shador Sanders is playing? Dang. Oh, my Lord. Holy frick. This thing's being so glitchy. Close game there. Close-ish. Arizona's getting destroyed. They've been plagued by injuries this year. Cleveland's beating Baltimore. Dang. Through all that. KC can't score a touchdown on. Denver's, yeah. There he scores me, for the NFL. There's that, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. It's 5:29, so I'm gonna go. See you next one. Peace. And if we do coaches thing, I'll let y'all know later. See y'all next one. Peace. 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 Penis. Penis. Penis.